Yolanda Adams as she shares intimate details about her life and how it ties into the business of radio. People don't know that you are a teacher, but they don't know that you have this communication background, which is why this radio opportunity was such an amazing fit. Talk about that, and when you got the offer to say, I've been with, go, you tell them.
Okay, no problem, thank you. You know the story, but I'll tell the story again. I went to Texas Southern University and got my degree in radio, TV, journalism.
Yeah.
Journalism, because journalism, that makes you like, certified. So you can work anywhere, you can work for publications, you can do anything on the internet, but there was no internet. In '83. In '83 there was no internet. Well, there was an internet, but it wasn't like it is now. To it, yeah. And so I was interning at Channel 11, my dream job, and so I got a chance to get behind the scenes, do a couple of PSAs that were huge on our CBS affiliate. And then all of a sudden, corporate figured that they wanted to be a part of the buyout. But they told us, hey, with this buyout, guess what? You're gonna have your job, you're secure. So when they told me I was secure, I went and bought a Firebird. 1984.
All right.
Firebird. Cherry red with T-tops, y'all. So I'm like, yes. And the next thing I was gonna do is that following week I was gonna look at townhomes. And went in that Monday, my brand new car shining. Just, that. It was like that. I'm like, because it was low to the ground. Not because I'm like, cool like that. It was low to the ground. So my boss was looking kind of worried. And I'm like, don't worry, they told us everything is secure. She said, oh, honey, come in the office. You
know what that means, right?
She said, come in the office. I'm like, me and that fresh out of college enthusiasm. Oh, everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna be great. And it's like, our jobs are gone, hon. And I'm like, everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. And 2 weeks passed, and 3 weeks passed, and a month passed, and I'm like, okay, Lord, I got a car, and I need to pay that note. And so my mom said, well, you can always substitute teach, and, because of course you never want to be exactly what your mom and your dad. Never, ever. My dad was a coach and a history teacher. And my mom was a science teacher. And so I did not want to be, employed like them. And so, of course, when she made that suggestion, no, I'm going to find something in my field, how we do when we're out of college. And she was like, okay, well, you can always substitute teach. Went around to the other affiliates, tried to get a job, all that kind of stuff. Needless to say, I went to one of my godmother's good friend's school. She was a principal, really cool principal, because she let me travel and things like that. And then all of a sudden I fell in love with the kids, and I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. She said, well, all you have to do is just go back and get your teaching certificate and you can be a teacher full time. I did that, and then I'm like, well, wait a minute, I got about almost 100 credits. So I might as well have, the degree in that. So that's how the teaching thing happened. And then fast forward 7 years after that, I couldn't make it back to school on time on Mondays, because most of the concerts are Saturdays and Sundays. And my principal, very sweet principal, she was like, well, you know what, we're going to have to do we're going to have to make some changes. Because, I love you, and you're a great teacher, but you've got to be here on Mondays. I'm like, okay. And so, that was 1991.
Wow. Wow.
And
here we are full circle.
Here we are full circle, back again. Ricky Anderson, who is one of, I think, the greatest attorneys in the world. He's very compassionate, and he pairs his clients up with the right types of things. And I had just prayed a prayer. Being on the road so much, I was like, Lord, I have a daughter who will need me at home during the bulk of the week. I really need your help. I need something that's going to keep me home, and I enjoy doing it. I had no idea that this would be the place that God planted me again. And so he called back and he said, hey, I just talked to Alfred Liggins, and I knew Alfred and Miss Hughes for years, but I never
Actually, we just did Sunday Best. I was, doing a casting judge, going from market to market with you. So I'm seeing you do Sunday Best. I'm seeing you do Celebration of Gospel. I'm seeing you back on air in the morning. I'm seeing you, doing all of these things. How sweet the sound. And I'm like, how does she do it? And then I see Taylor, and Taylor's so well-rounded and not missing a beat. You're not missing a beat in her life. So talk a little bit about that as the businesswoman, the mommy, how you're able to do that and do that well.
Well, not to sound so simplistic, but everything that's on the inside of you that you have a desire to do, God gives you opportunity to do. And I am so grateful and thankful that everything I think about, God gives me an avenue to do it. The music was just something that was innate. Growing up in a house where music was just celebrated. And that's all spectrums of music, from bluegrass to Beethoven, Bach, it doesn't matter. We had that type of education before we went into school. Because my mom was a music major, but she went back and turned into this master's science teacher. And I'm like, wow.
That's why it was easy for her to say, pick up your education.
Yes, pick up your education. Well, that was in the house. That was grandmother, grandfather, great-grandmother, great-grandfather. I mean, they paved the way. And so before you do anything, I don't care what kind of career you have or what your desires are, school is first. No matter what, get that education. And I'm really an ambassador for that, because no matter what, you always need to be pliable and moldable. And that's what college and university does. It lets people know, hey, you're trainable. You can take a concept and take it further. And in the world that we live in, especially in this internet world, you have to be able to take a concept or an idea from your head and then manifest it out in the open or on that screen, because somebody needs what you have. And that's always been something that I've been taught. My dad always said, if God gives you a vision, somebody else needs it too. Whatever God gives you is not just for you.
I love it.
It is not just for you. So I am a stickler for education. I also am a stickler for embracing the truth. You've known me for years, and I've been, in my eyes, very honest with the public about my life and what I love and what I will tolerate and what I won't tolerate.
Absolutely.
And because, I mean, hey, foolishness is only good for the folks that are being foolish. I have a job to do. And if your foolishness don't work in my job, hey, I love you, but you got to be on that side of the street.